everyone, it's Devon from Maniology team with our weekly live every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. You can find us here on another nail stamping journey. Whether it's a tutorial, a technique, or a hack, we're here to discuss the details, and we're so happy you could join. So, if you haven't figured it out, we are talking about the sticky stamper station. And we're going to tell you a few different ways that you can use this. To be precise, 8 different ways that you can use this. So for those of you that are here and you're new to Maniology and are wondering what the heck is the sticky stamper station, in short, it was created so that way you could easily clean your stamper and also so that way you could plan out your manicures. That was the first two, functions that we thought of when we were working on this. And this product took us years to make. It seems like such a simple concept, but sometimes when you're designing things, even though something may seem simple and easy enough to do, it's not always how you imagine it. So it took us years of love and care to create the perfect sticky stamper station for all of you. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So those are the first 2 reasons of what it is and why you need it. Excuse me. Why you need it. Oh, I have a long list of the reasons why you need your sticky stamper station, which we will get into in a little bit. But in short, it makes your life so much easier. And of course, I had to put my name on mine. And it's funny because it's at my house and no one's going to know or use it. I'm the only one who's using it in the house, but for some reason I still wrote my name on it. So in case you're like me, you can always put a little label here, write your name, do whatever you want, put a little design, anything. We put these little lines there so you guys could choose what you want to do with it. So let's get into all these reasons. I literally had to write out a list of reasons, or not reasons, but ways that you can use this because there are so many. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to remember all of this off the top of my head. But when you're using it, you start to kind of see how it all works together. So we should just dive into it. So the very first ways that you can use your sticky stamper station is to plan your manicures. We created these little tips here so that way you could stamp out designs that maybe you wanted to do on your next manicure. You can even write little notes about how you want to use this. Let me just zoom out just a little bit. So you can write what plates you want to use, what colors you're thinking about, just all different ways that you can kind of work with this. So that's the first use, is to plan out manicures, to stamp on things. The second use is for color swatching. So again, you can either just do, a simple stamp if you want to see how it works, or you can go ahead and swatch colors and get ideas of how you want to design your manicure. So the third way you can use this is, of course, to clean your stamper. So at the bottom of the page, there's a little word that says peel here, and you just go ahead and peel this away. And then you have a nice sticky section to clean your used stamper. So, if you have, for example, you're working and, give me one sec. There we go. So if you're working and, you just want to design something and maybe you have a bit of that extra stamp design left, or maybe you got a partial pickup, it didn't look good, you can always just clean it off on the mat just like this. So that is the other way that you can use it, and I'd say the most common is to use it for planning and also to use it to just clean your stamper, but these are the other ways. So that was to clean your stamper is the third way. Now the fourth way that I think a lot of people don't realize how they can use this. So fold this back. Also, that's another trick. I always like fold it so that way the whole thing isn't exposed and getting dust on it. I only fold it so that way I can keep that side protected, and then once I use all of this up, then I'll go ahead and lift the other part. But the other way that you can use this that I think is super fun is to create a decal. So you just apply your favorite speed dry top coat. Do not use a no smudge top coat. They're not great at making decals. And then you select a design, and then you just go ahead and stamp it on your area that you applied your speed dry top coat. So I'm just gonna wait for that to dry for a few minutes and continue to talk to you about the other ways, and we'll come back to that. I'm like hoping it'll dry quicker. So that is our fourth way that you can use it. You can actually use it to make a decal and do reverse stamping on it. So if you wanted, you could stamp a really cute heart. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like, and then after that you can just peel it up with tweezers. It's amazing. So let's see if it's dry. Not quite yet. Also, because this paper is super slick, I notice you can create the thinnest decals with this. So for those of you who've used like a silicone mat or a Lotus mat, sometimes it's better to apply a little bit of a thicker top coat so that way it peels up really easy. But because this is so slick, I noticed that you can just do one thin layer of top coat and then it'll just peel up really nicely. I probably applied a little too much, and that's why it's taking like so long to dry, but I noticed that I could create extremely, extremely thin decals. So if that's something that's important to you and you don't want to have to worry about having all kinds of like thick decals and having to worry about trying to cut it off and clean up the sides and all that other stuff, this is another really good way. So let's see if this is good to go. I think it'll be okay. So let me show you how to we're just gonna grab this heart design. I'm gonna turn it this way so that way it's a little easier for me to scrape. Pick it up. My hearts were not perfect, but it's okay because this is just a demonstration. Then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn this since my decal is long, and just stamp it on there. Oh, of course. So remember how I said it's super thin and this is super slick? Well, look what just happened. Again, lives always have unexpected little things that happen like this, but let's see. Wish me luck. Voila! Here, let me show you. This decal is so thin, which is really nice because it makes it very easy to stick to your nails. As you saw when I tried to stamp on my little hearts, because I waited too long and the hearts were already dry, it literally just peeled up the whole decal. So if you make decals, don't hesitate like me, just go straight for it. But this is how you can use it another way. So this is the fourth way, and yeah, you can just make all the decals your heart desires and it'll just stay there. So the next way is once you use all of this up and you cleaned your stamp on it a bunch, I'm actually going to use this one. I saved one for you guys because we're going to do this live. So you see, once this happens, don't throw it away. I know a lot of people think, okay, it's no good anymore. It's got a whole bunch of stamping, you know, bits left over and stuck on it. Now I notice that when you try to use it, it might not clean your stamper to the best. Well, that's okay because you can use it for when you use glitter or chrome nails and you're using your stamper. So I have a really gross stamper that's covered in glitter, and you can just go ahead and clean off the excess like this. So I specifically recommend that you do this once this has already been used up. Do not use it first to clean it with glitter and then try to use it to clean your stamper after you've stamped. I've tried that multiple times, and things that happen is, one, it actually ends up getting glitter on your stamper or chrome powder on your stamper. Or two, because these small glitters and chrome bits are so small, I noticed that it really just like covers the surface of the sticky paper. So if I had like a leftover stamp, for example, like this on my stamper, you know, sometimes it doesn't pick it up, as you can see. And now look what's happening. So you can only do this trick after you've already used it up a bunch like this. You want to make sure that when you're using it to clean your stamper and get rid of the leftover stamp, that you actually use it on a clean, empty page. So like this instead. This is better. You can clean your stamper when you're stamping using one of these, like a brand new one. But if you're going to use glitter or chromes, make sure you use like an old junky one that's already been used up a bunch. I think because the pigments are so fine, it can like stick to these tiny little odd holes. See, like that. Perfect. So that is the fifth way you can use it to remove your chromes or your glitters. The sixth way is that you can use it as a stamping scraper paper. So if you maybe can't, you know, get your Lotus Mat, or maybe you're traveling and stamping and you can only bring a few items, or maybe you just don't have a Lotus Mat yet, then you can always use this. So once it gets all used up, and now it's like, okay, we really can't use it for anything else, you go ahead and you fold it so that way the sticky side doesn't stick to whatever station you put it on. Then you put it under your stamper or your plate like this. Then you just go ahead and stamp normally. Scrape it all over here. My workspace is completely safe. I've used an old paper that no longer has any more uses. I can't use anything to stick on it. And now I can just go ahead and stamp normally and do whatever I want. But it's for people like me who hate cleaning up your Lotus Mat. I just really don't like having to deal with that. You have to waste a whole bunch of cottons, and I prefer not to. So I always use my super used up sticky stamper papers, and I just scrape directly on there. So again, if you maybe are new to stamping and you're trying to figure out, okay, what are the important items? Maybe I only have X amount of budget or something that I can focus on right now. I would say this is an absolute must because you can do so many different things with it. So that is the sixth use for our sticky stamper station. Can you say that 5 times fast? And the seventh way you can use this, and this was actually brought up to us last week, I want to say, one of our customers on our YouTube mentioned this technique. I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. However, I didn't forget your community hack. It was brilliant. So someone had said that they cut these up and then you just tear off a piece like this. And then you can fold it back and use it to isolate a certain design. So if you get all this weird excess stuff that maybe you don't want on your stamper and you're trying to get a particular design, you can just go ahead and cut off a slice and then fold it. This was one of the coolest community hacks that I've heard of for the sticky stamper station. That's something that we didn't even think about creating. We were like, what? You can do what with it? So you guys always surprise us with amazing ideas, and we're so thankful that you shared. Oh, so Monica, I believe it was Monica who told us about this. Monica said that she likes to make hers even thinner. So you can make it thinner or thicker, whatever you need it to do. I made mine's a bit thicker, but again, you can use it however you want to. So that is another way that you can use it. Now, the last way, the 8th way, which I discovered this, I'd say a couple of weeks ago. I was working on some nail designs and I wanted to use studs on these nail designs, but I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to lay out my studs. So I realized that I could use this sticky side and just like, let me show you. And just put a few of these little studs all over the paper. And then I could just go ahead and arrange them any way that I wanted. So for example, when I was doing this, I was trying to figure out what kind of like design did I want? Did I want to make like little triangles, or did I want to just do a straight line? But this allows you to be able to explore and play without having to worry about them flying off or running away or rolling off the table. I have spent a lot of time working with nail studs, and I cannot tell you how many times they accidentally, like, you turn on the fan, then they fly all off, or, you know, you accidentally, like, place your hand in the wrong place, and then you get them stuck to you, and it's just a whole mess. So, you know, there's many ways that you can use this sticky paper and do all kinds of cool stuff. So I found out that I can actually arrange my studs on here and, you know, figure out what the design is that I want to do before I actually put it on the nail. And also it's just a nice place so that way, for example, if you're doing a bunch of like studded designs, then you don't have to worry about constantly dipping into the container or trying to figure out where it went or putting it on the side. You just put it all right here and it'll just stick and stay. So watch. I think this should, hopefully, you know, it's not really moving. I don't have to worry, and it's also in a safe place. For example, if I wanted to come back to this later, all I have to do is just like close it, and then I can come back to this later and work on it again if I want to. Yeah, so it's just, you know, a really fun way that you can kind of, oh, weird, it got blurry. There we go. It's just a really fun way that it helps you to kind of plan out your manicures even more, because I noticed that if you're doing, you know, working with studs on like a slick surface or a smooth surface like this, they just get everywhere. I'm pretty sure I've lost like 10,000 studs by this time. I've been doing nails for like, what, 10 years plus now almost? I'm pretty sure I've lost 10,000 studs. It seems like a lot, but it really isn't. When you're working with such small things, it just happens. Things fall, things fly. So that is the 8th way that you can use this sticky stamper station. So again, so many ways to use this tool. Why don't you guys tell me what your favorite is so far? And in the meantime, I am going to kind of check the comments and see what everyone was saying and see if I missed anything. But I think, oh, I'm so happy you guys really like the little stud idea. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Monica, I think Monica or Dawn might have shared that idea with the cutting the papers. But I guess there's all sorts of ways, because I'm seeing some ladies like to cut it on the side, some ladies like to cut it on the bottom. I think I like to cut it on the side because it's a little bit easier for me to peel this up. But again, it's totally a personal preference. You can do whatever way works best for you. And I think, looks like you guys don't have too many questions. But yeah, what way is your favorite way to use this? Oh, someone said, Britt said, using it to clean the Lotus Mat is brilliant. Oh, okay, this is another way that it can be used. This is like a 9th way, but I'm not going to show you since I'd have to get the mat dirty and then we'd have to wait for the polish to dry, blah, blah, blah. So if your mat ever gets dirty and you're too lazy to clean it while it's wet and easy to clean off, once the polish dries on here, if you ever need to, you could always just take one of these little, actually, let me just pull one of these little strips. You could always just pull a little strip and then you can like clean it off of your mat this way. Especially if it's not a large area, then you could always just like take it off. I mean, instead of having to use the cotton and the acetone, and if you know you don't have your cotton grabber, you're gonna have to touch it with your hands and you don't want to ruin your manicure. This is another way that you can use it to clean your Lotus Mat, or even if, like, for example, you're doing a decal on your Lotus Mat. Before you do a decal on your Lotus Mat, it's best to make sure that there's no dust, because if not, it's going to stick in your decal and that's just not going to be cute. So you can always use it to just kind of prep the area and clean the space just to make sure there's no dust here. So this is part of the reasons why we absolutely love the sticky stamper station. I bet there are even more ways out there that you guys could probably come up with or share with us that we aren't even thinking about, but I literally just came up with 9 different reasons. And I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. This is really, it's a one-stop shop, this sticky stamper station. So yeah, that's it. I think I've shared everything I possibly could with you all in this live of how you can use it. And I hope to hear maybe some new community hacks about how we could even do more with the sticky stamper station. But if you try any of these techniques, or you just want to share your nail mail with us, or your manicure inspirations or cool hacks with the sticky stamper station, please make sure you @mention us, hashtag us, because we love hearing your ideas. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. Also, for those of you who are asking me when is an item going to be restocked, I unfortunately cannot tell you. I don't work in our restock department, so I do not know. However, if you are wanting to know, you can always email us at our support@maniology.com and we can help take care of that. But I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.